All right, everybody, welcome back to World Drum Climb. I'm super excited to have a friend of the channel, a wonderful musician, teacher, and wait till you find out who he teaches. I think it's so exciting. Brain injury survivor, and just all around super fun guy. I want you guys to meet and know, and he's got some opportunities coming up where you can get involved. We're going to watch a quick video, and then we're going to say hello to our friend Brandon Blake. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Kalani. Hi, friends. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, and thanks for coming on the channel and doing what you're doing. So I know people probably have a lot of questions right now. What's going on with that, your music laboratory there? So we'll get to that. But at first, I just want to say hello and tell people who you are, what you're doing, what's going on.
Yeah, hi friends, my name is Brandon Blake. I am a musician and I'm an educator. And as Kalani alluded to, the fun group that I get to teach, I am a preschool teacher. So I teach little kids and I help them make the connections of music and rhythm and fun, because the more excited I can get kids about playing real instruments from the early stages, the more likely it is that they will carry that on and become lifelong musicians and have music in their lives in their own ways. So I'm excited because I'm going to take my preschool mentality and apply it to a wellness percussion summer school that I'll be doing for adults this summer. So I get to teach grown-ups as well.
Which, don't we all need that preschool mentality, preschool energy? I don't know about you, but I remember like preschool, kindergarten as one of the just happiest times of life, So
absolutely. And you know what? Yeah. This is what it's all about. I want to get them excited for learning. I want them to get them excited for the lifelong education journey, because if I can set them up for success in the birth through 5 years, then I'm setting these humans off for a lifetime of exploration, wonder, compassion, empathy. And you know what? That's what it's all about. And now how can we reconnect back to that, like you said?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's dive into it, because I know this time's going to go by really fast. I want to give you as much time to share what you do as possible. How about, well, first of all, full disclosure, we are both friends with the WePlayWellTogether.com people, Gabriella and all the folks over there, our friend Jewel, of course. So that's just transparency. We just want to know we are going to be talking about instruments that they sell and promote, which is great because they're all amazing. So how about if we start with just some nuts and bolts stuff? What have you got there? Yeah. What are you playing? And then let's move into the why. Why should we care? Why should we do it? So take it away, Maestro. Yeah.
Thank you. First, I will say the people behind We Play Well Together, it's a small team of independent women running a business, doing the great things of finding amazing people who make amazing instruments around the world, putting them together, and having one place where we can buy them. So I've been very grateful for that ability to find these instruments and be able to have tools to express what I want to do creatively. So first off, I'll start with the kalimba. This is the kalimba made by Hokema, and Hokema is a kalimba manufacturer in Germany. They make kalimbas, they make sansulas, And sansulas are basically a kalimba mounted on a drum head, which give it a little more resonance. So versus the kalimba, that one has more resonance. This one is mounted on a woodblock, and it's really beautiful. Kalimbas are one of the world's oldest instruments, too. Down here, I have some monochords and a monolina. These are in the zither family made by Feel Tone. And they have a gorgeous, gorgeous sound to them. Over here, moving over, I've got myself a Zenko element made by Metal Sounds in France. And check this out. This is a little idiopan related to the steel drums of Trinidad. And then over here, I've got my hand pan. And this is also made by Metal Sounds in France. Check this out. I've got a Koshi chime. This is made by a great little company they distribute. Beautiful sound, as well as Zafir chimes over here that I'll be busting out in my course as well, that I'll be sharing some really fun ways to play these instruments either alone or together, and set up in a way where they really can complement each other in unique ways that I haven't been able to find with other instruments.
And yeah, and could you talk a little bit about how you view, all these instruments? Because I think you have a nice way of framing it within kind of a community.
Yeah, the way I see it, Kalani, and I hope we have some friends that really listen to this part, because I don't think this is a way we think about instruments often enough. I think about these instruments that they all have their own voices, they all have their own personalities, they all have their own ways that they sound, and they sound different from each other, but they complement each other. And so I think about them as having personalities and voices all their own. And when I play these instruments in concert with each other, and I have them all speaking to each other, I have a group of people that are all communicating at the same time and having this conversation. So when I think about these instruments as people having a conversation, I could think about this as a true conversation where we are expressing ourselves. And when I put them together, we can talk about some really amazing things.
I think it's a wonderful message, but it's very real, and as a brain injury survivor, I don't want to speak for you, but I imagine that you have a different perspective than you did before. And that's really what these voices are showing us, right? A different voice, a different perspective, a different way of looking at things, a different way of coming together. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, when we think about ways that we typically see the world and the way we operate, we think about things through conventional lenses. And I encourage and invite people to really start to view instruments and music in ways that allow us to unlock different parts of our brain, reconnect to that childlike wonder. And for me, as a brain injury survivor, I used these instruments in my recovery as a tool for helping my brain grow, re-heal neurogenesis, to regrow new neural pathways of how my brain communicates with each other. And for me, I struggle with anxiety and depression that have been from my brain injury. And for me, these instruments are ways for me to connect with healing modalities that have really worked for me. Being able to disconnect from technology, putting my phone down, putting my devices down, and just coming up to an instrument and playing intuitively and not thinking. Even if I want to just let my fingers dance on the times. I want to get out some anxiety that way and I feel fidgety. I don't even have to think about the music I'm making. I just let my fingers make it. And that way my fingers, which are connected to my brain's activities, there's just a whole thing that's happening where before I know it, I'm not thinking about the other things that are making me anxious or scared in the world. I'm only thinking about music, and it's allowed me to find my center and find my calm. And also, Kalani, having all of these different instruments has allowed me to find expression through these different voices and kind of have a little group of people to talk to that is in the non-English language, which is an interesting thing to think about too.
And isn't that nice that you have input? We all, when we play an instrument, we have our input, but then what do we get back? We get back beautiful sounds. We get back beauty. You could literally put in fidgeting, right? You're putting in your energy,
Right.
you're putting in your fidgeting, and you're getting back beautiful sounds. You're getting back this gift of music.
Yep.
I wonder how many people watching have a little edgy anxiety, nervousness, uneasy. Maybe they're not sleeping well. Maybe you don't feel at ease all the time. Maybe you're worrying a little bit. And what a beautiful gift to give yourself is the ability to use these instruments to alleviate and mitigate some of that worry. I want to ask you before we get because I want to get to the magnets, you guys. There's magnets coming. That's all we're going to say right now. Don't talk. The magnets. But before we get to the magnets, I'm imagining that some of the people watching might be wondering, now, is Brandon is a musician. He knows how to play all these things. If I just started hitting all these things, it would sound terrible because I don't know anything about music. What is the secret that's going on there with you? Because they all sound good. All those instruments sound good together. So there's a secret, right? What is it?
Yeah, that's a great question. The secret is that they're all tuned to sound great together. All of these instruments were designed by a group of companies that all work together with We Play Well Together to say, hey, let's figure out a way to bring our instruments together so they can be played together. So for example, this tuning is in tune with this tuning. And that tuning is in tune with this tuning. And that tuning is in tune with this tuning. And that tuning also is in tuning with this tuning. And then finally, I get to add my gong-like sounds. All in tune. And so Kalani, and for my friends watching, the secret is that they were made to sound in harmony together. They were made to sound good together. So what that translates to for you, all of your viewers, is you don't actually have to have musical talent, musical ability to play these instruments. These are intuitive instruments that are meant to just be able to pick up and play right away. For example, this instrument right here, the koshi chime, this is one of my favorite instruments for anxiety, for depression, and especially the lowest bar of entry for a musical instrument that I can think of for people. So if you are not a musician and you've always wanted to play an instrument but never did, but you love music and you follow this channel because you love music, but maybe you just haven't been able to get into it. Holding this, watch this. I can play music just by holding it and giving it a shake. Check this out. I'm not even doing anything other than just being present in this moment. And just by that shaking, look at my hand. It's barely moving. And so that's a way that I can bring music intentionally into my life, even if I don't feel like I have the skills or ability to do it. Or a kalimba, I'm just letting my fingers dance on the tines like that. They're just dancing around doing their little thing, and I'm not even thinking about it. So these instruments are designed for everybody, whether you're a skilled musician and you have years of experience, or you're brand new in the field and you've always wanted some way to get into it. This is that somewhere. So that's just a little bit about that. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, that's wonderful. In case people didn't know, that's an amazing bit of what we might call heavy lifting that's already done for you. But that doesn't mean that it's taken away any of your opportunities to connect with music, to connect with beauty, to connect with your own, your own ability to self heal. And I want to be clear, and also I'm speaking as a music therapist, that these are not magical items, right? It's a tool that you can use yourself to become more how you want to be, right? It's not magic, but it is magical. It can be
Right.
magical.
That's
So
a great point, because these are tools, and you know what, the way they help me on my healing journey won't be the same for anybody else on their healing journey, but the way you will use your instruments is very unique to you. It's like a fingerprint. There's only one way for you to do it, and everybody else has their own way. So what
yeah,
works for me, and that's the beauty of these. They are designed to just kind of like lock into who you already are and meet you where you are at. And I love that about these.
yeah, absolutely. So along those lines, could you tell people a little bit about your upcoming course, which starts soon? So if you guys are watching this video
Yeah.
later, much later, sorry, but maybe it'll be come up again. But for right now, you've got a course coming up. Could you just tell people what could they expect? What are they going to get out of this course? What's in it for them?
So, so this course is going to be really fun. I'm going to have 6 weeks where I'm going to unpack all of these different instruments, and we're going to have a week where we talk only about hand pans. We're going to talk about kalimbas. We're going to talk about monochords and chimes, and we're also going to talk about how those instruments can all link together. And the main thing is not just me explaining how these instruments work. The main thing about this course is wellness percussion. And I know the term wellness gets thrown around a lot, but for me, what that looks like is, how do we use these instruments as tools for our own self-healing, our own self-care? We live in a very anxious world. There's no way around it. How can we use analog tools like these instruments in ways to help me, even just for a few seconds, disconnect? Because there is a power of, like, watch this right now, friends. Do this with me at home. Take a deep breath in, breathe out. Be present and listen to this just for a second. Even just in those 6 seconds, I feel calmer, I feel more relaxed. And this course is designed to show you, whether you have any of these instruments or none of these instruments. We're actually going to be sending people shakers so we can all practice the same rhythms together. Whatever your instrument is, whatever you have at home or whatever you don't have at home, this is a course where I'm going to be showing people how to tune into percussion as a wellness practice. We're going to be learning different rhythms on different instruments. I'm going to show you how they can link up, and we're going to talk all about how, even if you didn't think you could start anywhere, this is your somewhere. Remember, I'm a preschool teacher, so I'm going to know how to teach you things in ways that won't be intimidating, won't be scary, won't be overwhelming. There's a lot of courses that have a lot of information, very overwhelming. I'm not an over-information guy. We're going to keep it very simple, and it's going to be, of course, very fun. I'm excited.
Very fun. All right. Yeah. And I just want to say that I just appreciate your take and your approach and your philosophy and your delivery so much, because we
Thanks.
all know, you're welcome. We all know that, a lot of people have music trauma. They have music lesson trauma and music performance trauma. So they have trauma associated with music making, and that is very sad. That is a tragedy. And thank goodness for you, because I think you can help undo that. So if there's anybody watching that has music trauma, go to Teacher Brandon. I love that people call you Teacher Brandon. Teacher Brandon, and undo that stuff, because you don't need it. You don't need music playing or learning trauma in your life. Forget that. Undo it. Sign up for Brandon's course, if for no other reason.
Let me add to that real quick, Kalani. I'm really glad you brought that up, because I experienced music trauma in my childhood. I've been a bass player for 25 years or so, and at the time I was a brand new bass player as a kid. My parents enrolled me into lessons to learn music. I had a teacher that I was not connecting with. I've struggled with learning disabilities, and I've not succeeded in school when I was a kid, and so I had a lot of trauma around reading music, and I just was not successful with it. But I still carried on. You too. I still carried on and still made the music that made me happy. And I will say, the instruments in the We Play Well Together catalog, if you have experienced any trauma from music in your life, these are a great way to undo that, because they are intuitive. They're tuned in a way where there's not a lot of bunk notes and be like, I can't do it right. So these instruments really helped me let go of a lot of that trauma and accept, you know what, it's okay that I don't read music. I make the music that is me expressing myself to the world. So yeah, music trauma, we don't need that. We don't need that.
Yes, and thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
I grew up with dyslexia. Horrible reading. Horrible. It's sight reading, charts, all that stuff. Horrible. But thank goodness, because I do what I do, you do what you do, and I think that's great. And thank you. So magnets. Before we wrap up, we have to share this, because this is very cool, you guys. Now, having just said, there's the magnet. Having just said, you don't need any skills, you don't need to read music, all that. That's all true. But Brandon has taken things to a slightly different level, which is cool. And it's maybe something you can aspire to as well. So please, go ahead with the magnets.
Yeah. All right, friends. So this is, you're getting a sneak peek of something that I'm not even going to be fully uncovering in my course, because, to be honest, it's like a whole thing that needs its whole topic and whole time to unpack it. But it's this. This is your sneak peek today. All right, and I guess this is the bonus content. If you're a friend of Kalani's and you've made it this far in the video, you deserve to get the magnets. All right, so check this out. So kalimba. A kalimba is a fixed tuning instrument, right? You only have a certain amount of notes to be able to play on. And so if I play these notes, those are my notes. So that right there, that's my lowest note that I'm going to get. And my lowest note of all of my instruments here is about... So how could I possibly get that note to be that low? And the answer is, you have to add mass and weight to the tine in the form of a teeny tiny little neodymium magnet, super strong. And what I do, and I know you can't hear it over there because my microphone is here, so I'm going to put it back here, but you can see I just stick the magnet to the end of the tine right there. You see that? And then listen to the difference right here. Do you hear that? So by using magnets, I can lower the notes that I have available, and I can open this up and change my tunings using these magnets. So now that low note, I matched it, right? Listen to that. And all of my instruments are tuned to 432, so I'm able to do this in whatever temperament I'm doing. I can do this in 432, I can do this in 440. And so it's a way to open up this instrument that has traditionally been a fixed tuning instrument for thousands of years. Now you can tune it in ways with these little teeny tiny neodymium magnets and open it up completely. In fact, when you hear this, hear that flatted note right there? That's because I have a magnet underneath the tine. Do you see it under there? And it's just sitting there right there. But if I take it off, this note, so if I take it off, that note becomes. So it opens up this instrument in ways that I'll tell you, if you get stuck on your phone scrolling, doom scrolling, playing Candy Crush or whatever your thing is, this is the best way to fidget and actually make music and create things that are totally unique. And I'll tell you what, there are magnets of all sorts of different sizes, which different size magnets produce different notes. You can maybe put on a magnet and lower something just a half step, or put on a bigger stack of magnets and lower something a couple of notes. If you have a large enough stack like I have, you can lower something enough where it becomes an entire octave. So just by adding mass and weight, what happens is we're taking the tine and making it heavier, which slows down its vibration. And if we slow down the vibration, it gets lower. So I love me some magnets, Kalani friends. This is the secret sauce. I hope you enjoyed.
Nice. And that, that just, yeah, it's such a simple act that has endless experimentation property. It's a simple thing, but like you said, you can just get into that for hours and find your own tunings, make your own weird tunings and experiment. And that's awesome. That's a big part of music making.
Yes, and you know what? Don't be afraid of hitting bunk notes with the magnets and hitting some microtones. Hey, microtones are where it's at. Like, you can have fun. And you know what? Nobody's listening, so who cares? Have fun.
Yeah, exactly. So for anybody who wants to do more with music, but has a little trepidation, or you have music lesson trauma, or you just don't know where to start, I highly recommend Brandon's course. So, Brandon, where is the course? What is it called? Where is it? How do people sign up? We'll leave a link, but where can people find you?
If you go to www.weplaywelltogether.com, it's a great name because it's all about playing well together. So if you go to weplaywelltogether.com and you look for Teacher Brandon, summer school. Hang on. What is it? If you go to weplaywelltogether.com, you'll be able to find Wellness Percussion Summer School with Teacher Brandon. There's going to be all the stuff on We Play Well Together's website for Summer School with Teacher Brandon, Wellness Percussion.
Nice.
I'm so excited, and I know you're going to be able to learn things that you'll be able to use in your own way, and you'll be able to run with. So I'm so excited to share.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you so much, Brandon. I really appreciate you taking the time, but I appreciate my time with you. It's wonderful to be with you, and I hope other people join, because you're just a joy to be with, and you're so knowledgeable, but also just encouragement, and that's what people need. So before we go, I know you have, as part of your recovery story, you've got a website. Again, I love this idea. Can you tell people about Bonus Time?
I sure will. So I'm going to leave y'all with this lesson here. And my website is bonustimemusic.com. And bonustimemusic.com is, you might be saying, oh, what's bonus time? Well, it's this. On July 25th, 2013, I was hit by a car on my bicycle when I was commuting home from teaching preschool. I was almost killed on the scene, thrown into a coma, and the first responders did not expect that I would make it. I did make it. I'm still here. And so, what do I do with this bonus time that I was given? If anything was different in my accident, maybe I'm not here. But I am still here. And so I live in what I call bonus time. And bonus time is all about realizing that every moment is special. Right now, being able to be here with all of you, if you're listening with us, Kalani and I, thank you. This is bonus. Knowing that I can share this gift of bonus time with you, because here's the deal. You don't have to have been in a near-death accident to realize that you are living in your own bonus time. We don't know what circumstances have taken place over the course of our lives for as long as we've been here that allow us to be in the shape that we're in today. And so we are uniquely all in our own bonus time. And as such, I want you to live your bonus time. Go share and spread your own love, joy, compassion, empathy, kindness, and wonder that you share in the world, because it is all bonus time. And I hope to see you during our summer school class and share some more bonus time with you. Thank you, Kalani, and thank you, friends.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you so much. All right, thank you so much, and thanks for sharing your music.
Thank you. Bye, friends. See you next time.
All right, everybody. Wow, that was amazing. I want to thank Brandon again for sharing that. And look, you guys, seize the opportunity, all right? Because we are living in bonus time, but don't take anything for granted. Go out and get it and give yourself the gift of loving music and get rid of that music trauma. This is World Drum Club. I'm Kalani. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for dropping in. I'll see you in a future video.